Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. GitHub Actions, episode 11 of 14. A container guarantees exact tool versions, but it comes with a hidden latency cost on every single workflow run. Your environment consistency might be slowing your team down and locking them into a single operating system without you even realizing it. Crafting custom actions, Docker versus JavaScript, resolves this tension. A custom action is reusable logic you write once and share across multiple repositories. When you build one, you must choose an execution architecture. The two primary models are JavaScript and Docker. Many engineers default to Docker actions because they want absolute safety and predictable dependencies. They assume a container is the most robust choice. The reality is that building a Docker action permanently locks out any macOS or Windows runners from using your tool. Docker actions only execute on Linux environments. JavaScript actions take a different approach. They execute directly on the host machine. You write your logic, compile it down to a single file with all its dependencies, and point the action metadata to that entry file. When a workflow triggers, the runner uses its built-in node runtime to execute your script. This decouples your logic from the underlying operating system. The exact same action will run natively on Linux, macOS, and Windows runners without modification. Docker container actions, by contrast, package the operating system, the system dependencies, and your code together into an immutably unit. You dictate the exact environment. The runner reads a Docker file provided by your action, builds or pulls the container image, and runs your code inside that isolated space. Here is the key insight. The strict isolation of a Docker action introduces a cold start penalty. Consider a team building a custom code linting tool to share across their organization. If they build it as a Docker action, the runner has to pull that container image before it can evaluate a single line of code. That might add a 15-second delay to the start of every linting job. Across hundreds of pull requests a day, that idle time compounds into hours of wasted compute. If the team builds that identical linting logic in JavaScript, the runner simply downloads the script file and executes it instantly. Your choice of architecture dictates how your action behaves in the wild. If your tool relies on complex system binaries, requires a very specific version of a language compiler, or wraps legacy bash scripts that are brittle outside a specific Linux distribution, Docker is the correct choice. You pay the latency tax in exchange for guaranteed stability. If your goal is to build a fast, widely adopted tool that works across any project type, JavaScript is the better path. The architectural choice between Docker and JavaScript for a custom action is never about which programming language you prefer writing in. It is a hard trade-off between strict environment control and cross-platform execution speed. That is your lot for this one. Catch you next time.